We didn't end on fire, just faded like the light. One day we stopped texting and neither asked if that was right. You still like every photo, I still remember your teeth, but we live like gentle ghosts in a friendship we set free. You're the friend I don't talk to anymore, but still think of when it rains. The one I text at midnight if things still felt the same. There was no great explosion, just a door we didn't close. You're the friend I don't talk to anymore, but that's how growing goes. I keep your jokes in playlists, still quote your favorite line. And when I hear that one song, you still show up in my mind. No bitterness, no blame, no drama to unpack. Just two people on two timelines, waving from way back. You're the friend I don't talk to anymore, but you help build who I am. Even silence can be sacred, even endings don't need slam. Maybe someday we'll laugh again on some nostalgic shore, but you're the friend I don't talk to anymore. I'm grateful, nothing more. It sounds like the fridge humming at 3 or 9 a.m. The absence of your voice in the background again. It sounds like an unfinished laugh or footsteps that don't fall. The echo that a jacket makes still hanging in the hall. It's the sound of someone missing, not loud but loud enough. A quiet gnawing presence that fills in every bluff. Not silence, not forgetting, but static wrapped in blue. The sound of someone missing is still somehow you. It sounds like the second fork still sitting on the rack. The way the music ends and doesn't circle back. It's waiting for a ringtone that never learned to call. It's the whisper of a ghost that never left at all. It's the sound of someone missing, like a song with no refrain, like laughter in a dream that doesn't quite explain. You're not gone, just faded, like dusk in morning's hue. The sound of someone missing still sounds a lot like you. almost picked, almost yours to claim. You held me like a promise, then whispered someone else's name. I wore the hope too loudly. You noticed, then looked away, and suddenly my quiet heart had nothing else to say. I was almost picked, like a flower left in the sun. I bloomed just in your shadow, but you chose another one. Not because I wasn't lovely, just not your kind of hue. I was almost picked, and still I think of you. You smiled like I mattered, but kept the door ajar. I walked up to the welcome mat, but never made it far. Some hearts are just placeholders for the love that never lands. I wish I didn't write this, but my pen still understands. I was almost picked, almost said your name, but swallowed it politely to spare you from the blame. I'm not mad you didn't love me, but it still feels kinda thick to be the one you almost, but never fully picked. I was almost picked, almost said your name, but swallowed it politely to spare you from the blame. I'm not mad you didn't love me, but it still feels kinda thick to be the one you almost, but never fully picked. I saw you on the stairwell of a place that doesn't exist. You smiled like time forgot us, then leaned in for a kiss. You wore that jacket I returned, but never really gave away. You said don't ask too many things, so I didn't make you stay. You only visit when I'm asleep, in rooms I can't remember. We dance between my thoughts and fog like ghosted sparks of ember. I wait before I ask you why, but somehow still feel known. You only visit when I'm asleep, but it doesn't feel alone. We never talk in full lines, more images than plot. You laugh like you forgave me for the silence we forgot. Sometimes you hum the melody I wrote but never played. You whisper it still lives in you, then softly walk away. You only visit when I'm asleep, in scenes I can't explain, but every time you're near again I walls are still the same, but something doesn't fit. My toothbrush knows the counter, but I don't know where I sit. The mirror shows my outline, but I flinch when I come near. I don't recognize this room, but it whispers that I'm here. The sheets still hold my outline, the clock still ticks on time, but everything feels borrowed, like I'm living in a rhyme. The drawer still holds my secrets, the rug still hides a stain, but the echo feels unfamiliar, like memory grew pain. I don't recognize this room, though I lived here every day. It feels like someone else's house with all my things in play. Maybe grief red painted, or growth just changed the tune, but I walk these halls like quiet. I don't recognize this room. I don't recognize this room, though I lived here every day. It feels like someone else's house with all my things in play. Maybe grief red painted, or growth just changed the tune, but I walk these halls like quiet. I don't recognize this room. You held me when the world fell, cheek pressed to my side. I soaked your quiet crying and never asked you why. I've lived beneath your pillow, heard the dreams you didn't chase. I know the names you whisper that never see your face. What my teddy bear knows, no one else will hear. I keep your midnight secrets and cradle every fear. You've grown but still return when your walls begin to close, and I just sit and listen to what your silence shows. I saw you hide your heartbreak beneath a hoodie and a sigh. You buried love in boxes and never said goodbye. But here I never question, I only softly stay. A witness made of stitching to the things you couldn't say. What my teddy bear knows isn't meant for the world, but I remember every whisper from when you were that girl. You don't hug me as often, but I still feel your lows. I'm just a quiet fabric You said something funny, but the words won't stay. I swore it was Tuesday, now it feels like June. The coffee smelled like cinnamon, or was it just the room? The memory keeps changing, like photos left in sun. You're smiling in one version, in another you had none. Maybe time rewrites the truth, so we can make it through. The memory keeps changing, but I still look for you. Da-da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Kiss that night, or maybe we almost did. You held my sleeve too tightly, or I just imagined it. There was music I remember, or silence like a fog. You said you'd see me soon, but now it reads like a monologue. The memory keeps changing, like stories bent in rain. Some days you're my comfort, some days you're just pain. Scrolled right past, told my friends it's not that deep, but checked again real fast. I walked by your street, told myself just coincidence, then stayed there for an hour like time forgot its sense. I laughed too loud at stories where your name might appear, and I drink from the same cup that still remembers you're near. I pretend I don't care, but I do. I wear yet too. I nod like I've moved on, but keep singing verses of you. I pretend I don't care, but I do. I say we were nothing, like nothing left this mess, then dream of your hands in my hoodie nonetheless. I save the text I never send, drafts like lullabies, and write your name in lyrics I'll never let you analyze. I'm fine, I say too quickly, with a smile sharp and tight, but grief wears quiet clothing, and I sleep with you at night. I pretend I don't care, but I do. I joke you out the room, but your name still finds the bloom in the songs I write in blue. One day I'll stop pretending, but right now this will do. I pretend I don't care, but I do. What if you missed my train by seconds, and I was sitting I've been wondering if you've outgrown me too. Your favorite sweater misses you, still stretched out at the cuffs. I used to catch your heartbeats, now I'm just gathering dust. You wear new threads, I get it, but I miss your 3 a.m. Your favorite sweater misses you like an old forgotten friend. Remember when you spilled the wine, you laughed and cried at once. I soaked it in and held you tight like fabric built from trust. I saw your first big heartbreak and your dance in the kitchen light. I'm not just cloth and stitches, I held your softer nights. Your favorite sweater misses you, the you who hummed and rose. I don't know where you're going, but I hope you're blooming soon. I don't need to be worn again, just don't forget I knew. Your favorite sweater misses you the way you once did too. I met you and my hair was longer when coffee felt like fire. You said hello like I was no one, and somehow that lit the wire. You never looked back twice, but I kept you in my chest. You were just a passing line, but I memorized the rest. And I told myself it's harmless, that some loves just exist in empty space between us, in the pause before the kiss. You were the crush that didn't expire, lived in daydreams, burned like quiet fire. I didn't chase, I didn't speak, but I kept your name for weeks. And when I laugh, I swear it's wired to the crush that didn't expire. You dated someone loud and golden, and I clapped like it was mine. Kept your smile on a playlist and your jokes inside my spine. Years went by in silence, you moved through towns and names, but I still found your shadow in the window glass and trains. I never tried to have you, just held you in my head. Some people build cathedrals for a love they never said. You were the crush that didn't expire, still glowing in my mind's attire. No poems, no bouquets, just a gaze I couldn't weigh, a feeling I still admire. The crush that didn't expire. You'll never know how often you saved me without trying, how you lit a spark in silence while my real world was dying. You were never mine to notice, but I noticed all the same. And that's the magic in a crush, it stays without a claim. You were the crush that didn't expire, and somehow that's my quiet fire. walked in, nodded when they spoke, made 2 dumb jokes at lunch, laughed until I choked, told them I'm doing fine, and they nodded like they knew. But nobody asked if I'm okay, so I guess that makes it true. Nobody asked if I'm okay today, and maybe that's alright. I've got tea and lights and playlists, and my pillow holds me tight. But it would have been nice, just once, to hear it said out loud. Nobody asked if I'm okay today, but I still made myself proud. I fed the cat, replied to texts, said sorry out of habit. I almost cried mid-podcast, but just rewound it. Classic. Some days I don't need saving. Some days I wish they'd try. But either way, I showed up, and that deserves my pride. Nobody asked if I'm okay today, and I didn't start a scene. But I wrote this little song to say what's in between. If no one ever asks me, then I'll still find my own way. Nobody asked if I'm okay today, but I made it through the gray. The floor creaks like a warning. The window barely shuts. There's a stain behind the mirror, and no key fits quite enough. The paint smells freshly tired, like someone cried it dry. And though I just arrived today, this apartment feels like goodbye. The cupboard hides a tea bag from someone who's long gone. I sip it like a ghost might and pretend it makes me strong. I didn't even hang the frames, just leaned them on the side. Because deep down I already know this place won't be my pride. This apartment feels like goodbye, not disaster, just decay. Like loved ones tried to live here, but slowly moved away. The echoes hold a sadness that I didn't even make. This apartment feels like goodbye, and I'm still wide awake. Maybe I'll write some songs here, maybe I'll mend a tear, but I won't unpack the whole of me, just enough to care. This apartment feels like goodbye, but maybe I'm okay with passing through a story that never played and lavender for the me who held her breath. Sunflowers for the summer she never truly met. I watered every broken room with stories she forgot, and whispered to the soil, you still deserve a lot. I grew a garden for the me that didn't, the girl who stayed too small, the one who thought that softness meant nothing much at all. And now the roses bloom for her, each petal like a wind. I grew a garden for the me that didn't, but maybe could have been. I never told the tulips about the years I lost, just fed them gentle kindness like warmth without a cost. Now every vine that climbs the fence feels like a quiet hymn to the version of me who thought she couldn't begin. I grew a garden for the me that didn't, and now she walks it too, barefoot in the lavender, smiling at the view. It's not about redemption, it's not about pretend. I grew a garden for the me that didn't, and she's blooming in the end. I waited for your sorry, like rain that never fell. Told myself next week, next call, but silence knew too well. I wrote 1,000 drafts for you, practice lines you'd never say, until I stood in the kitchen and forgave you anyway. You didn't send a letter, but I mailed one to my chest, signed your name in lowercase, and gave myself the rest. You never said sorry, so I did it for you. Spoke both parts of the sentence and believed one side was true. I hugged the air where you should be, then let the wind pass through. You never said sorry, but somehow I still grew. I pictured your apology like soft September skies, not perfect, just enough to stop asking myself why. But peace can bloom from absence, and closure self-made art. So I whispered what you couldn't and sewed it to my heart. You never asked for grace, so I gave it to myself. Let go of who you didn't become and shelved you on the shelf. You never said sorry, so I wrote the words instead. Traced them on the bathroom mirror. still learned what to do. You only call when it rains, when your voice sounds like thunder, when the world feels like too much and you need somewhere softer. I answer every time like a window without screen, letting all your weather in just to feel seen. You only call when it rains, never when the sky is bright. I'm your shelter, not your sunrise. I'm your 2 a.m., not your light. And though I tell myself it's kindness, every drop still leaves a stain. You only call when it rains, and I still love you through the train. You said you're easy to talk to, like it was some kind of gift, but it always feels like cleanup when your mood begins to shift. I wish you'd call in sunlight or during some dull noon, but I guess I'm just your downpour, not your lazy afternoon. You only call when it rains, when your sky begins to crack. I hold the weight like weather and never ask for it back. But I'm more than your umbrella, more than just a name. You only call when it rains, and I answer just the same. You only call when it rains, never when the sky is bright. I'm your shelter, not your sunrise. I'm your 2 a.m., not your light. And though I tell myself it's kindness, every drop still leaves a stain. You only call when it rains, and I still love you through the drain. You only call when it rains, and I still love you through the drain. You found someone new in spring. I watched the photos bloom, smiled with half my feelings and a half-lit bedroom. I didn't text or spiral, didn't scroll too deep, just closed the tabs, exhaled, and finally got some sleep. You looked happy, honest, the kind I couldn't fake. And though it ached like twilight, I knew I wouldn't break. I made tea, called my mother, cleaned the drawers you left, and realized in my breathing there was still something left. You chose someone else, and I chose peace, not in pride, but in stillness, like the tide just had to cease. You didn't know me more, I didn't beg or plead. You chose someone else, and I chose me. They say healing isn't pretty, but mine looked kinda warm, like morning light on blankets and storms that never form. You chose someone else, and I chose peace, not silence out of sorrow, but a kind of sweet release. I won't write packed your bag at 2 a.m. Didn't look me in the eye, said this isn't really working, like I'd know the reason why. I watched your outline disappear through a hallway made of doubt, and stood there like a doorway built to never shut you out. I'm always the one who stays, even when it hurts to breathe. I fold the sheets you slept in and pretend I don't believe that leaving is the answer while loving is the cost. I'm always the one who stays and counts up what I lost. You left your favorite hoodie, I wear it when I miss the sound of you existing like background. I don't dismiss, it's not the first time someone ran before the end was named. I'm the one who sweeps the silence while they move on unclaimed. I'm always the one who stays and tries to build from ash, turns absence into shelter and tears into a stash of things I wish I'd spoken before you slipped away. I'm always the one who stays, but maybe not today. One day I'll leave too, not from fear, but finally for me. You walked your dog past 7. I sipped my coffee near the tracks. Our buildings face the sunrise, but the view never brought you back. You lived in neon playlists, I played old tapes alone. We shared the same forecast, but storms hit different homes. And maybe in a movie we'd meet at corner stores, but in this life we just exist, 2 blocks and countless doors. We live 2 blocks apart, but in different worlds it seems. You danced in rooftop laughter, I sank in muted dreams. We breathed the same gray skyline, but never shared the light. We lived 2 blocks apart and never made it right. I'd see your name in flyers, hear laugh in passing bars. You knew the baker's daughter, I just stared up at the stars. Sometimes I'd write you letters with no stamp and no reply, just folded maps of maybe in a mailbox of goodbye. I guess some hearts orbit, but never land in sync. We almost had a future, but blinked before the link. We lived 2 blocks no text back right away. I take longer walks with nothing to say or prove or weigh. I say no when I mean it, don't explain what I don't owe. I've learned to hold my silence like something that can grow. I've changed, but I'm still me, just softer at the seams. Less chasing down the lightning, walking through the streams. I didn't lose the sparkle, just learned to let it be. I've changed, yeah, sure I've changed, but I'm still beautifully me. I stay home on the weekends if my soul needs quiet air. I stop setting myself on fire just to prove I care. I miss less things that hurt me. I mourn, but now I mend. I don't need to be the loudest to feel I'm worth the end. I've changed, but I'm still me, with less weight on my shoes. I sing in lower registers, but still hum all my truths. You may not know this version, but I finally let it be. I've changed and thank the stars, I'm finally more me. I've changed, but I'm still me, just softer at the seams. Less chasing down the lightning, walking through the streams. I didn't lose the sparkle, just learned to let it be. I've changed, yeah, sure I've changed, but I'm still beautifully me. I wrote the first verse last November, said your name without regret. Typed a chorus I deleted, cause I hadn't healed yet. The bridge was just a whisper of the fight we never had. I played a line on Sunday and it made me way too sad. There's a folder on my desktop called Things I'll Never Send, and the song sitting at the top, still waiting for an end. I've rhymed you with disaster, I've looped you into rain, but I can't write the final line without flooding back the pain. It's the song I'm too sad to finish, too close to bear to roar. It echoes in the ceiling like a voice I almost saw. I hum it in the shower, I cry it when I drive, but the song I am too sad to finish still keeps your name alive. Maybe someday I'll record it when the ache turns into air, but tonight it's just a melody that says I still care. It's the song I'm too sad to finish, but maybe that's okay. Some songs live unfinished and still find their way. No outro, no crescendo, just me with this ache I wish wasn't the song I'm too sad to finish. I try to declutter my mind like a junk drawer in July. Tossed out half-read thoughts and the need to ask why. Unsubscribe from guilt, file the grief in boxes, donated past intentions that only came with losses. I tried to declutter my mind, but you kept showing up like a photo in a shoebox or a memory in a cup. You were folded in the sweater I forgot I even had. I tried to declutter my mind, but you still made me sad. I labeled jars forgive, stacked let go in bins, erased some voice recordings that looped my quiet sins, swept the corners gently, lit a candle made of now. But even in a tidy brain, you still found a way somehow. I tried to declutter my mind like a shelf too full to bend, but your echo stayed behind like the ghost of an old friend. Maybe healing isn't spotless, maybe ghosts don't need to hide. I tried to declutter my mind, but kept your name inside. I tried to declutter my mind, but you kept showing up like a photo in a shoebox or a memory in a cup. You were folded in the sweater I forgot I even had. I tried to declutter my mind, but you still made me sad. You said stars were just explosions, and that dreams don't mean a thing. You laughed when I made a wish on a necklace, on a ring. I didn't fight your science, didn't ask you to pretend, but I still folded paper cranes for the prayers I'd never sent. You don't believe in magic, but I still do, in candles that You always leave your shoes by the door, like maybe you're not staying. Your coat hangs just enough to look like you're delaying. You laugh like you belong here, but your suitcase says you don't. You say I'll be back Friday, and I pretend you won't. You always leave your shoes by the door and never by the bed. You drink the tea I steep for you, then vanish in my head. You kiss me like you mean it, then vanish through the floor. You always leave your shoes by the door, but never something more. The light stays on too long after your scent still hugs the air. The silence after laughter is louder than I dare. You love like you're on layover, waiting for a final flight. And I'm the comfy terminal that holds you overnight. You always leave your shoes by the door, and I don't move them back. Part of me still hopes one day you'll unpack what you lack, but you don't plan to linger, and I don't lock the door. You always leave your shoes by the door and take your heart once more.